start streaming. I suppose anything that I've forgotten or anything that I've forgotten with regards to making this, I will just fix in a minute. Although I didn't remember to set the right game this time, because apparently that's becoming a recurring problem. I'm going to go put this in streaming and recording. Anyway, that's on our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, there's a link down below. We are here in Mason's Landing on Tolbrand. I'm your host Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. I am all by my lonesome. Gloria is making red velvet cookies, despite the fact that she's in a boot. I didn't tell her to do that. It's something she decided on her own volition. That's all I can say about that, really. Let me just make sure I don't have any pings. Hello, D59. Hello, Dean. What is first on my list? Okay, so actually the first thing on my list is the barrier islands. So we're going back over here. In fact, we have this whole area to do. And we have this area to trim and sort of get looking nice. I think we'll just do the copy pasting first, and we'll do the whole coastline in one fell swoop. The more time you spend trying to figure out how you're going to do something, the less time you spend actually doing it. I know that's obvious, but sometimes that stands in the way of actually getting stuff done. People don't necessarily automatically think about, hey, the time that I'm spending deliberating is time that I could be spending actually doing the thing. Hello, shoreline. Alright. I'm going to... Gloria's now getting yelled at by her family for making cookies. I can hear it from in here. You know, I should probably encroach on the beach a little bit more, because I can just add more texture on top of this and move the trees back. In this area I'm probably going to have to do separately. And this is a little bluff. You'll notice it doesn't have sand on it. That wasn't an accident. Well, the bluff's creation was an accident. I have this in the NASA spaceflight stream up. What's going on NASA spaceflight? Out of curiosity. I usually try to tune into the launches if I can, although I haven't watched one since the last Starship test. So, I wouldn't mind being cued in. Hey, Patrick. Maybe I could put the NASA spaceflight stream up on the TV and just keep an eye on it. Although, actually, Patrick, you would know this. Is there a Red Sox game on tonight? Or is there playoffs happening right now? Ooh, Static Fire. Okay. You know what? I don't think I've watched a single Static Fire. Call me a fake fan if you want, but I'm here for the launches, and otherwise I just don't have time to stare at the screen. You say Bluff City, Dean, and now I'm thinking about putting a couple of houses out here, maybe a little dock. Maybe way over here? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add this to my scenery list. Bluff City. Could be a nice little change. I don't know what I watch. Well, yeah, no, I don't expect you to know what I watch. I'm just talking about it. I'm not saying shame on you for telling me that there's a Static Fire. I'm saying, like, ooh, that's neat, and I'm glad that's happening, although that explains why I'm not already tuned in. I didn't know what it was. You told me what it was. Don't think that I'm trying to get on you for saying to me there's a Static Fire, because it's not something I usually watch. I'm just trying to give the explanation as to why I'm not immediately jumping on, or do you mean I don't care? I'm not calling it Memphis. If you mean I don't care what you watch, that's also understandable, but also, I'm just sharing my thoughts. I mean, if I wasn't going to do that, I wouldn't be streaming. I would be making this in silence, just on my own, all alone, with no one around. Probably listening to podcasts about air disasters and other disasters, possibly with slides. Yeah, Houston does lead the series, Pat, and I am disappointed about that. I saw the final score last night, which was, I think, 9-1, and I went, ooh, because that's a little rough. Alright, we're going to leave this space clear. I don't expect to be invested in the things I like as me. Well, I think it's the mark of a good friend to become invested in the things that your friends are invested in simply for the sake of, you know, to a given amount. Obviously, you don't need to be enamored with everything your friends are, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, etc. But, you know, being able to, like, oh, you know what, let me check this out so I have something to talk to you about, you know? That I think is good friendship, and of course, that goes double for someone you're in a relationship with. Just out here giving random relationship advice that nobody asked for. Um, Let me get the Kurt hat, and I'm gonna give some more relationship advice. I don't want our conversation to seem antagonistic. I feel like we're bouncing off each other and not really making uh, too much in the order of sense with what emotions we're trying to convey. Uh, is there a game tonight? Actually, I have a semi-baseball related thing to talk about if we're going to talk about baseball really quick. So, lots of people agree that baseball is boring, at least in person. Or sorry, that's wrong. At least on TV, and that's the way most people get their baseball. It's the way most people get sports. TV or, piracy. One of the two. But baseball, I think, is a totally different monster in person. There are certain sports which are just plain better to experience in person versus experiencing on the end of a television set. Uh, it's mini corn dogs and use way too much mustard. Um, that's my Steam, not yours. Nobody freak out. Alright, let's put this over here. Let's just smooth this edge out a little bit. I think baseball is best experienced, and this is a weird opinion, so bear with me here. I think it's best experienced on the radio. It is such an old-timey, America's pastime thing, and admittedly, there's not a ton going on at once that's visual, because, I mean, there is if you have, like, a double play or something, but generally, there's one line of things going on, and that line of things can be fairly decently explained to you by a half-decent commentator. So, I do think that baseball is at its best when it's a background item that you're just listening to. Say, you're driving somewhere, or you're just working on something and you have baseball on in the background. I mean, obviously it's the same. Alright, see a short line. Obviously it's the same deal if you just have a TV on in the background that you're not actively watching, but that requires a TV. If I'm, in a hypothetical scenario where I'm working on something in the garage, say. I don't have a TV set out there, and I probably never will, but I can put a radio out there pretty easily. Um, and then I can hear the game, and I can experience all of the game that I need to experience, because baseball is simple enough to be, taken in through the radio. Lafayette's eating some plastic. And as a tangential radio thing, I finally got my 940 sedan back. I finally got Nelly back, for those who knew my cars by names. It was actually delivered to my house at the very end of a recording session for the Bacon Line, which, if you haven't checked out the Bacon Line series, it's a series with myself, Tyler, and Weibold, and a $400 can car, and Railroads Online. It's our obligatory Railroads Online series. And it's nice because you have the person who's the real railroader, you have the person who's on the dev team, sort of, at least on the modeling team, and you have the, me. I don't really know what I provide. I bring the recording software. That's what I provide. Some events do happen at the end of, or over the course of the recording session that just happened, which will be coming out starting next Tuesday. I guess I'm putting them up on Tuesday at noon. It happened by accident, and then it happened again by accident. So I guess that's just the way it is now. Uh, I'm glad somebody else thinks baseball on the radio is great. Or I don't know what that was. Actually, what was that? Was that fantasy football? Oh yeah, it was. There's also a football game on tonight that I may want to pay attention to in some capacity. Of course, I can't do it during the stream, but maybe after it's over. Or I might hop on the Coggers server with Gloria. That's also a possibility. Or there's a myriad of other things I could be doing. Okay. Okay. Where are we? I need to smooth these edges off. I think that's the next step. And this needs to be some sort of dirt, I guess. I think there is a such thing as too much mustard. Too much of a good thing. I like mustard as much as the next guy. But there is a such thing as too much. Yes. I believe it's also yeah. So that is Blount's whistle. It's also the whistle in locomotion. It's just the first thing that comes up when you're like steam whistle ringtone. And I've just hung on to it for years and years and years. But good ear. I like it. You know? It's immediately identifiable to a lot of people, which is neat. And also, if it's not immediately identifiable, at least people get the gist that you're a train guy. Title function would be kind of cool. Especially, I mean, in fairness, I don't think most sessions will last for the duration over which tides will matter. And on top of that, I don't think tides would affect anything. They would be nice, but then you'd need to worry about a couple of things. One is if you have any... Well, one is you need to be conscious of where your tide is when you're building stuff, so you don't end up with stuff that's submerged a couple hours into your session. And the other thing, which is possibly even more important, or, well, maybe not more important for most people, but more important if you have a route where tides are going to play a large part and you're doing water-related things, you need to have something with your boats, your boat objects, and your boat, like, drivable boats, that would somehow adapt to a changing tide level. Because, as you may know from much older episodes of Under Construction where I was installing the underwater invisible track, getting a boat to where it needs to be is really finicky, just in terms of where in depth it needs to be, and a tide would immediately mess that up. So, I think tides would be neat, but you'd need to touch on some other... you need to adjust some other things in the gameplay to make them work in a way that doesn't, like, get in the way of everything else. And I feel like adjusting with the tides would be an asset-specific thing, and that would mean all your older assets you either need to put somewhere without tides, or don't use tides, or you just can't use them at all. Because they're going to either get swamped or what, you know? This stuff over there. Get the stuff off the beach. I didn't put any grass in here, and I'm not too worried about it. Oh, hey, Matt. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better too, Pat. I hope your fever has subsided a little bit. I would not be the... no matter what's causing it, I would not be want to be the person getting on a train with a fever right now. Oh boy. Are you okay, Lafayette? Are you okay? Come here. Why do you... Oh, you've been sticking your face in your water bowl, huh? Okay. His face is all wet. I was wondering why it looked funny. he blows bubbles. Yeah, so I got the 940 back, and one of the wonderful things that Miracle Man Tony did, aside from literally deliver my car like he's some sort of, uh, well, what what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Carvana Messiah. Uh, he fixed my power antenna, finally. So I have radio again in Nelly, like radio that doesn't suck. And the thing that makes me the happiest is just watching that go. Wait a minute, how come these trees aren't changing in size? There was a new update for trains, and now all of these trees are the same size. That's weird. Hmm. Uh-oh, Nelly is back. Yeah, typical Lafayette is right. He's causing chaos, as always. Alright, let's turn this radius down and brush up the edge of these corners. But I got to, I was feeling great yesterday after the fever hit. I mean, I don't mean to say it, man, but can you take a COVID test? Because that would probably be wise. I mean, I guess if you don't have a cough and you just have a fever, that would make sense. But I don't know. I would at least rule that out. To bring my BT thing next time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Amtrak is pretty particularly tight security, but there are a lot of places that. Well, there are a handful of places left that still check your temperature. Uh, Again, it doesn't matter what it is. They're just going to be like, oh, you have a fever. Get out of here. I mean, imagine if that's how we treated every disease, though. Imagine if you really were just barred from stuff from when you're sick. I mean, it would suck, obviously. It would be annoying as hell. But, man, the rates of flu and cold and stuff would probably plummet. We have learned over the last, 2 years that we can absolutely survive as a people without going outside for a length of time. There is enough stuff that can get hand delivered to your door, including apparently a Volvo 940, that we don't ever really have to leave home. And if you're sick for a couple weeks, especially if you're one of the lucky folks who can work from home, even if you're sick for a couple of days, it just makes sense to not go out, you know? And it's not like people didn't try to do that before. But again, now we know we're capable of it. Now we know how much more possible it really is to just get everything delivered. I mean, I've been living a more delivery-heavy life exclusive of COVID because of Gloria's injuries, because I can't cook. I can't. I tried today, and I could not stop just bombarding her with questions, and then I didn't like the way the stuff sounded in the pan. Like, it was frozen, and I had to heat it up, and it just made my skin crawl, the sound of, like, icy things scraping together. And so I couldn't do it, and she had to come and take over, despite the fact that she's in a boot, which I guess gave her the confidence to try and make cookies, so not all bad, really. Um, I would honestly starve to death if it weren't for her, I think. Or I would just live a very blasé life of, like, mac and cheese and frozen pizzas. Because even when I was in college, I had a meal plan to just go to the dining hall whenever I wanted. Some homemade barbecue ribs. That sounds good. Ain't nothing wrong with some homemade barbecue ribs. Yeah, this is not an outrageously detailed area, and honestly, I'm okay with that. It's effing in the middle of the ocean. Uh, and as much as maybe I will come back and build this little tiny town, Bluff City, population like 10, but maybe I won't, you know? It depends how much work it feels like it is, or feels like it's going to be. When I came up with it, I'm sure it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be at least an hour. Gotta put a wreck ship and some Gilligan's Island references, yeah. A 3-hour tour. Um, yeah, let's see. Alright, now we gotta smooth this edge. Oh yeah, how is Goya doing? she's doing okay. She's adapting to being in a boot. She's not in as much pain as she has been previously. Uh, she slept until noon today. Just kidding. I'm not here. I'm not here to shame her most of the time. I'm not here to shame her when she can't hear me. So, you know, that's the thing. When you're making fun of someone, they might as well be there so that they can get mad at you about it. Making fun of someone behind their back is objectively worse than making fun of somebody uh, in front of them. At least, as far as, I mean, don't make fun of people that aren't your friends in general. Don't be a bully. But like, if you're just, ribbing someone or busting someone's chops, don't do it behind their back, because that's not really what that is. Then that's just being rude and gossipy. Welcome back from Foodland. Shoreline, what do you have for food? The class wants to know. Do you have enough for the class? Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Hemlock. That's what I would say. When when I say something and she's like, "I'm gonna beat you up," I'm usually like, "Yeah, okay," and I just like get ready for it because I know I deserve it. I'm not delusional. When I say something stupid, I deserve what comes next. I just say something stupid. It's a face. It's one of those things where you here's some Brussels sprouts and orange. Nice. I had chicken parm pasta, which again came out of a bag frozen and went into a pan, and I cooked part of the way, and then Gloria cooked the rest of the way because I'm inept. Uh, but what's up, Ellis? Oh, hey, Mopac. Oh, I didn't. I was like, there's a new name in there somewhere because I can't really see the whole chat. I can like see everything but the first and last words, and so I just see Pack 82, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait. That's a name we haven't seen yet today. We've got another person in the chat. Also, I apologize for not being here last week. There were complications with, partially with Gloria's injury, but partially because my mom wanted to borrow Lafayette for the evening, and ended up waiting on her. She was supposed to get here at 7. She got here at 8-ish, and by the time we got her and the dog out the door, I wasn't interested in picking up the torch of Tolbrand that night. And I was trying to get ready for a trip and everything, so it wasn't a great evening. And I was thinking about this, right? You might be bad at cooking, but at least you didn't almost give like 8 people food poisoning. I mean, I made burgers for everyone. If I had screwed that up, there would have been a lot of people with food poisoning. Instead, I just heartily overcooked them because I was scared of giving people food poisoning. Uh, I'll get better. I just don't have a lot of opportunities. All right. Time for Browns versus Broncos. I think I definitely have some people in this game. Actually, I have the Broncos defense. But I have some players on the Browns offense, so I'm a little conflicted. In fact, I believe I have a player on the Browns offense who just came off of injured reserves. You don't have to stop people from eating an undercooked sausage. Yeah, well. Oh, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to give a short seminar on banana bread, and every time you or I are in the call together, uh, I always forget, which is you saw my banana bread and you said it looked better. Like, I assume you meant it rose better. And that's okay. Yeah, no, it's both a skill and a talent, and some of us just don't have it. Um, I was wondering, when you bake banana bread, Hemlock, do you put it in a glass, what do you call it? A glass baking thing or a metal one? Because I have found, I don't, why is the word escaping me? Hey, baby? Never mind. She's still on the phone. Um, the Iron Horse are quarantined because we have food poisoning. due to the sausage. Um, yeah. This here doesn't have anything that would cause it to rise. What do you mean? What is? I need to know your recipe now because it's not like I'm putting yeast in mine. Uh, the batter is more like cake than it is bread. Well, yeah, yeah, and that's true of all banana bread. Uh, it really is more like a cake. It's just not. It's called banana bread. It really should be called like banana cake or banana. No, because pound cake is called cake, but it's more similar to banana bread than a lot of other things, like pumpkin bread. Yeah, that's true. I never thought about how banana bread or pumpkin bread is kind of a misnomer. Whatever. Um, I want to now. Obviously you can't write your recipe in the chat here. That would be silly. But my point is, if you are putting it in a metal baking dish container thing, uh, try a glass one or a Pyrex one, I suppose. But yeah, glass Pyrex, whatever they are, if you have one, because in my experience, that causes it to rise a lot better. Uh, when and I realized because you brought yours, and it actually did look about in line with what I'm used to seeing when I was using a uh, a metal container to bake it in. So you know, it's it may be that may contribute to it, and maybe you don't have a glass one on hand. Maybe you do use a glass one, and my hypothesis is off base. But if you're having trouble getting your breads to rise well, or breads to rise well, try it in a metal container. Please don't message me on Steam when you know I'm recording. You can message me in the stream chat. I'll notice it. Uh, okay, so I'm leaving that blank. This, I think, is fine. I know it's not very heavily detailed, but honestly, I think it's fine. Um, although, you know what? I want to go around the edge here. I do want to go around the edge here. I'm doing all right. Hey, Brian. I'm meaning to try my Hannet pasta salad. So, I had a gripe the other day because I went to Stop and Shop, our local grocery store, and I'm quite handy with a microwave. Yeah, that about sums my abilities up, Mopac. Uh, I can throw some things in the oven too, and I guess as evidenced by this conversation, I can in fact make banana bread, but that's about the limit of my skills. Um, oh yeah, press F to pay respects. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so there's this Caesar pasta salad at Stop and Shop. They sell it in little containers. And I went because I was hungry and I just wanted that, and they didn't have any more. And that was the saddest I had felt in at least a couple of hours. So, yeah, I mean, that was a disappointing afternoon. I had to settle for something else. But admittedly, I had been having that Caesar pasta salad a lot, and it was probably good that I changed up just a little bit. Talk about cooking. We're talking about our ineptitude at cooking for the most part, or at least I am, TBA. So you wouldn't be in this conversation because you are quite good, at least in my experience. Uh, dude, at the Iron Horseman Lodge, you're gonna be just the chef. We're gonna kit out a kitchen for you. Actually, if you come visit me and we can go to the Newport Mansions, you should see the effing kitchen in there, in the Breakers. And I feel like if you were a foamer and you want to see any Newport Mansion, the Breakers is the way to go, because it's the only one that, as far as I know, that has significant railroad ties. It's the Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt mansion. Or it's, sorry, it's their summer cottage. Uh, it is a gigantic and incredibly opulent house that they would live in like 3 months out of the year tops. It's insane. Uh, but you know what? When you have ludicrous amounts of money to burn, that's what you do with it. You build more houses, I guess. At least you're reinvesting in the local economy. The only thing I cook consistently so far is grilled cheese. Have you tried that technique? Have you done that technique where you take the grilled cheese off the pan, and then you take the pan and turn it upside down and press it on the top of the grilled cheese, and then flip the whole thing over? Because Gloria said she tried that and it went badly. The grilled cheese trick. I want a baking powder. Yeah. I mean, we more or less. Oh, you have cinnamon in yours. Um, yeah, no. I mean, that's. Some cottage mansion, same thing. No, I do it in the oven. Oh, you do it in the oven. Oh, that's like Proster. I could not. I don't think I would.
The red velvet cookies.
Yeah, I did tell them you were making cookies. I didn't specify that they were red velvet cookies, but,
Red velvet cookies.
yeah, red velvet cookies. Yeah, you and I don't have particularly different banana bread recipes. Certainly there's nothing extra in mine that would cause it to rise any more than yours, except I believe I use, well, that wouldn't cause it to rise. I was about to say I use more than one egg, but that doesn't make it rise. It's different than making bread, you know? I really need to start doing things in the right order. I didn't do things in the right order over here. I'm just gonna throw these down because I can't hide the trees. Yeah, Gloria said she's found a way to turn cake mix into cookie mix. So, that's what she's doing. I hope it goes well. Oh, you know, I could picture using the oven for grilled cheese if I was using specifically a toaster oven. Because toaster ovens are one of those underrated kitchen appliances that if you want to cook a bunch of different things, pumpkin bread is good. Pumpkin bread is one of the only forms of pumpkin that I like, I'm going to be honest. I don't really like pumpkin that much. Toaster ovens are a really underrated kitchen appliance. I think toasters have their place in the kitchen. Oven, of course, has its place in the kitchen, but a toaster oven also has its place. I feel like it's overlooked because it's just really a combination of two things that you always have otherwise. But it is really nice when you want to use an oven for something, but you don't want to sit there for 45 minutes and spend half of your electricity budget heating the damn thing up. Air fryers are another one I was going to bring up, actually. Because we had one for a little while. It was Madison's. Of course, she took it when she left. She took the goddamn kids and the air fryer. But in seriousness, she got an air fryer for Christmas one year, and we used it for a handful of things. It was kind of a pain to clean, but then again, so is everything. They are really nice to have. Yeah, the S1 is cool. The one from the DLS, it's nice to have. It's really old, though. It'd be nice if we had a newer S1. Pumpkin cookies and pumpkin pie. I'm not sure I've had pumpkin cookies, I'm going to be honest. Oh, you know what? This needs to be filled in with trees. Or maybe I'll just leave it as brush. I'll just leave it as brush. I burn 95% of the toast I make. Turn the toaster down. I don't feel like that's that hard. The K&L's making a new Pensy T1. I don't think that's on their list. Hold on. KL trains. K&L trains. I don't think it's on their list. But maybe it's a secret project. Let's see. We've got 425, a CNU1F, 3751, a B&O R1, which I kind of been looking forward to, B&O EM1, and a L4B Mohawk. And, of course, the East Broad Top Railroad. Those are all commissions. This toaster is from the Stone Age. I can't do that. I haven't checked K&L in too long either. It's just they haven't produced a lot lately. They've been taking it kind of slow. I assume, just like everything else, COVID slowed them down. I don't know really how it would, but I assume it did somehow. I assume he has deadlines, you know? I just don't know what's been cooking lately. The T1 Trust stated it. Please put a source for that in, like, Terminus News or something, because that's exciting if true. Uh, I mean, if you like your toast burnt, then you're doing pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's just a perspective thing, right? Hold on, I need some pineapple. Okay. Let's fill this area in. And any bits we're missing along the side here. You know what, actually, I might do? Nah, it's not right now. One of the things I always like to do is when I'm done with a tile, or I'm pretty sure I'm done with a tile, so that I don't have any missing pieces of grid, I'll come over here and I'll just do this, making the entire RBMN excursion roster. Can't help that RBMN just bought like 12 cars from Iowa Pacific. Yeah, that's pretty excessive. I wonder if the price changed when they did that. They are really buying up stuff from Iowa Pacific. Honestly, I was talking with Weibold about various like abandoned rights of way that would make good places to start up tourist railroads, and I was falsely under the impression that this had to do something with rescuing those engines from Hawaii, but it did not. We ended up getting carried away on a thing about the Douglas airline, but the New York and New England, if you don't know what that is, look it up. The the thing that had eluded me during that entire conversation is, hey, if you want to buy a railroad on the cheap, there are a bunch out there right now for sale or going into bankruptcy from Iowa Pacific that would probably take like a handshake and a ham sandwich, you know, to get control over. Learn that if you burn toast, you can effectively reverse the effect by slapping butter and salt in it. I mean, everything tastes better with salty butter. I never understood why people liked popcorn until I realized that they don't really like popcorn. They like salty butter, and the popcorn is the medium to get it to their mouth. Uh, because if you like the texture of the popcorn, you just have kettle corn instead. Fight me, kettle corn's better. Um, the the movie theater popcorn. I mean, I never got it because I wasn't a millionaire. I couldn't afford it. But the just popcorn in general. Well, to be frank, right? To be frank, right? The regular like popcorn you can make at home will never be salty and buttery enough for me. And maybe that's why, because most of the time I don't have movie theater popcorn, again, because I'm not rich. Uh, I don't have that movie theater popcorn to, like, uh, I don't have a salty butter dispenser to just slather on everything I eat. Because if I had it, I would have had several heart attacks by now. I mean, Jim Gaffigan made a bit about you like butter. Like, you don't like lobster, you like butter. A lobster is an excuse to eat 3 sticks of butter. And you know what? I don't necessarily disagree. Because in my experience, lobster is just too much effort for the quality of meat you're getting out of it. Now, this is a New England opinion. Well, it's a non-New England opinion because if a lot of New Englanders heard me diss on lobster like that, I wouldn't be. There would be no next episode of this. But I could live on butter for about 3 minutes until I die. Yeah, I'll hate that one guy. I'm not sure I said hello to you when you shut up. I am poisoned. Oh, wow, in you. I am poisoned. It's one of those popcorns machine, we never use it. yeah, most of my exposure through popcorn comes through like restaurant popcorn, which is not as good as movie popcorn, or like home popcorn, which is not as good as either. Who are all these people? Unimportant. I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the party, guys. Welcome to Tollbrand. If you have any questions about, good answer. If you have any questions about uh, what this map is, or what we're doing, or who I am, or why we're here, if there is a god, if we're a product of some sort of cosmic coincidence, that sort of thing. I mean, you can drop it in the chat. I'll try to. Yes, restaurant popcorn. I ate raw chicken and now I'm suffering. Where are we on the map? We are here. We are about halfway between Olive down here and Mason's Landing up there. We are at this little strait here. SN20 about to construct a static fire. Ban Alice for dissing on lobster. Raw chicken now I'm suffering. Where is the 2-foot? It's over there. Watching the old 2006 stuff and noticed the stream. You know what? I'm really glad. And I try to do these just about every Wednesday, and I know that I dropped off for a little while there, and a lot of people, or at least a handful of people, thought I wasn't producing content anymore, just because, I don't know, they gloss over the podcast because it's boring. Poked holes posted in the plastic so we can breathe. Where's the active 2-foot? I'll take a different question. Yeah, we live in a simulation, actually, is what I was getting at. And 02 test flight went. Hey, I mean, if the static fire goes well and they decide to go through with it, probably within a couple of weeks, right? That tends to be the schedule for these sorts of things. I want to talk about movies, though. I want to provide a small, spoiler-free review of Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. Many of you may know that I am a fan of Wes Anderson and his movies, although I've only admittedly seen a handful. Life Aquatic was my introduction to him, which is not a great introduction to him, especially at a relatively young age. It's not that funny. It's funny, but in a situational sort of way, and not like you're going to laugh at this sort of way. Where is the 2-foot? Where are my testicles, Summer? End of this year, orbital test. Oh yeah, that's right, orbital test flight. The Grand Budapest Hotel is my favorite movie of his. I think it's phenomenal, and I think what's the one with the kids? Moonrise Kingdom is another very good one. It probably ranks second in my ranking of his. I own Darjeeling Limited. I watched it once. It's okay. It's an earlier movie of his where he was still sort of growing into his style. I really think that those two movies that I named there as the highlights are really excellent blends of his style and proper movie making for the populace. I do really want to watch Fantastic Mr. Fox. Gloria does as well. She's been campaigning for it because I believe she's seen it, and it's sort of like on my next. Sure, my phone screen wasn't broken. I'm sorry, TBA. I'm gonna go get my branch line ballast. Give me this. Knives Out, it's different, but you should do. I mean, you're welcome to do a Horseman movie night for Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think it'd be neat. I would campaign for something. I would love to do a movie night in. I haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox. No, I haven't. It's one of his that I was initially turned off by the style. I looked at it and went, I don't know if I'm into it. I literally judged a movie by its cover, so to speak. And I've heard so many good things about it that even though, in fairness, I never avoided it. I never really had the opportunity to watch it, though I never sought it out. I would like to seek it out now. I'd like to see it. What did Dean say? I want to watch Greyhound. Yeah, no, I've wanted to watch Greyhound since it came out, and I have not had a way to watch Greyhound because it's one of those movies that's just crippled by its distribution. But last night I took Nellie on her first drive since getting her back, which was to Brown University to see The French Dispatch. And The French Dispatch is Wes Anderson's newest movie, and it's focused on uh, I guess you could call it an overgrown column, but it's more of a whole magazine at this point that was started by a man who moved from Kansas to Ennui, France. And that man is played by Bill Murray. I love Bill Murray. Uh, and the movie itself focuses on the a handful of the stories that the magazine is printing. So it's not one contiguous story, which again is very Wes Anderson of Wes Anderson to break his movie into three distinct parts that are even more distinct than the distinct parts in some of his other movies. Uh, but it is very much three separate stories, and the only overlap is how they are all going on. Yeah, Bill freaking Murray, going on in the scope of this issue of the French Dispatch, and it is a really good movie. I think it's a good movie on its own, despite the fact that it's segmented. You have to be willing to accept that. Um, and the characters, you don't really get a chance. Well, you do get a chance to get attached to the characters that are presented as protagonists of their individual stories, but you don't get to see them for the whole movie. Uh, TRS 2006. I would be afraid to open TRS 2006 because my computer might explode. Uh, I finally do not have Train 2006 installed on this computer because I practically rebuilt it from scratch. So I don't have to deal with the Ghost of '06 anymore. That was a problem for a very long time. I thought it was gone, but it was not gone, and it just kept trying to open up when I was playing Trains. Anyway, the I don't really want to get into spoilers, obviously, because it isn't even out yet. It was an advanced screening, but and honestly, these days I feel like I have to specify that because there are so many movies where I expect that they're already out, like like Dune, for example, and they're not out yet. They're not in theaters yet. Things aren't in theaters yet. To a movie night, my country's Wi-Fi wasn't a piece of crap. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, comrade. Starlink time. Um, the movie itself, the plots are whimsical. They're interesting. They're very Wes Anderson. There isn't as much of the Wes Anderson shot, like the specific look that the movie has, but there's a lot of like it switches back and forth between black and white and color. At one point, it's a cartoon. He plays with the visuals enough that you know it's a Wes Anderson film, despite it not necessarily having his signature as much. Um, but yeah, for what it doesn't have in the Wes Anderson signature look, it makes up for in the Wes Anderson signature plot lines. And the movie, I think, is funnier than most. I honestly, in terms of laugh out loud moments, even though it's very front loaded with the laugh out loud moments because of the greater arc of the story, which I won't necessarily spoil right now, which there is one, despite it being uh, three separate things, um, is it's more laughs than his other films by a considerable margin, especially at the beginning. Um, Otherwise, it gets somber and dramatic. I mean, if you guys have seen the Grand Budapest Hotel, I don't really want to spoil it if you haven't, but it ends on a series of extraordinarily somber notes. There is no happy ending in that movie, and that is another sort of piece of this puzzle. Um, so it is a funny movie. I do recommend it. Uh, it has its dramatics. It has a well-written plot line. The characters are engaging. I really don't have too much to complain about it, and maybe I'll find some more complaints if I watch it again. Uh, Define not happy. Um, I don't remember where I said not happy. I assume I was talking about how somber the end of Grand Budapest Hotel is. If so, um, well, okay, spoiler talk for the next minute or so on a movie that's several years old. The protagonist loses his wife and son and best friend uh, within, like, in the epilogue of the main story. So, yeah. And it's not like he loses them after a long period of time. It's like everyone dies immediately, and then there's the giant gap in time between that those happenings and the present day of the story at that time. Because something that needs to be said about Grand Budapest Hotel is that it is very much a story inside of a story inside of a story. It opens up with um, a woman hanging keys on a gravestone of an author, and then switches to that author giving an interview where he talks about a man he spoke with at a hotel, at the Grand Budapest Hotel, as a matter of fact, and then it goes into that person's past. So it's a story told. Let's see, that's one, two, three, or four, depending on how you measure it, layers deep. And that innermost story ends sadly, and the other ones don't really have an impactful ending. So, yeah. Uh, Honestly, Grand Budapest Hotel, if I had to give it a theme or a thought to sum it up in a more meta way, it's about the stories that we tell. It's about the experiences that we have in a given moment, instead of the "and they lived happily ever after." This is, in short, it's the journey, not the destination. That's maybe the easiest way to say it. I know that's a cliche, but that is what that movie is as a nutshell, because the destination's not any good. The the bulk of the movie, the adventure that they have, is the the story that you come there for. It's not to see the characters live happily ever after, because they don't. It's just they got that shining little moment. Anyway, I'll take a drink. Anyway. Oh, the one thing I will caution about the French Dispatch that I might do a second static fire. You've left your PS4 running for 3 straight days? Jesus. That's probably not good for it. Uh, okay. The one thing I would caution about the French Dispatch, which took me by surprise, is the amount of nudity that's in that movie. It's not I mean, okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not like... It's a lot. You know what? I'll just leave it at that. It's certainly more than you expect from a Wes Anderson movie. I feel like if you get the average film, right? Especially the average, like, R-rated film, you get, like, one shot of partial nudity. And I guess, yeah, see, Shoreline, you nailed it. And I thought about this after I got home. I think I thought about it, either late last night or this morning. I went, you know what, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that there's this degree of nudity in the French Dispatch. It's looking at a region that's very much not as prudish as the U.S. is, and while you or I may look at it and go, whoa, that's a lot of nudity, it's, compared to a lot of what would be its contemporaries in a certain context, in a given context of the being the French Dispatch. Uh, the context that it presents itself rather than the context that it exists in, uh, or context that it presents, I should say. Uh, it really wouldn't be out of place, I suppose. It's just the way it is, you know. Um, I just, you have one of those glorious moments, and this happened a lot. Like, if anybody else here watched Game of Thrones, I watched 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, and then the person I was watching it with betrayed me, as happens, and watched ahead, and so I never watched anymore. Um, why is this red? Uh, the the thing is, when you load up a brand new episode of Game of Thrones and you see a that little title card that comes down, that's like, this episode features, and it's like violence, you know, use of drugs. I don't know if there was any much use of drugs in that, but you know what I mean. It gives you the slide of what you're gonna see in this episode, like what you should be cautioned about, and it's like nudity. And every time that slide come up, you sort of went, "Hey, like, here we go. It's gonna be one of those episodes. There's gonna be tits and possibly dicks." And what? Uh oh. All right, I'm in trouble. Um, Actually, there seems to be a cookie-rated catastrophe. So, my point is, they gave that announcement before the movie started, and I went, "Ha, nudity," expecting, like, again, the typical movie. You get one shot of, like, that's a boob, uh, and I sort of went, "Hey, hey," to Gloria, who then elbowed me, and I was also sitting next to my mom, which was also funny because she got to witness that exchange, and the uh, I got in trouble with going over no words. The thing is, I saw that and I went, "Hey," all right. I heard them give that announcement, and then I was totally blown away by A, how quickly it happened, and B, how much of it there was over the course of the movie. At least, like, the first the first story. I don't think the second or third one have much of it. In fact, the second one appears to be the most forgettable for me. Uh, but anyway, watch it when it comes out. I'll be right back. Anyway, here's a red velvet cookie. I am not 100% sure. Recondenser is back on. These are little cake cookies. I love it. Yes. How far are we into this thing? Oh, we're already like an hour in. Okay, let's switch gears. I'm going to move this back to the bottom of my goals list. This is really good. But you better not leave me alone with that thing of cookies, because I will eat them all. How are we doing on people? Pretty good. Really good turnout tonight. I appreciate everybody showing up. Alright, what's the next thing on my list? Oh yeah. The tram thing. Where was I with this? Ooh, I got a snap. So, this one's all set up, to my knowledge. This one... Can I see them all, please? Show all tower paths. This should be set up fine. Gerald Manor, southbound to Gerald and Mason. Gerald Road, southbound to Gerald Road, northbound. Okay, that's this one. I think this should be fine. Yeah, this works as a signal. That's the other thing. This is interlocking tower controlled. But I'm not sure that I want to have this be interlocking tower controlled. So that means that this has just got to be like this. I mean, we could just do it, you know, with the TRC. But I kind of want to remember how to do this really quick. So, oh man, I don't remember how to do this at all. Okay, let's find another ATLS crossing to cheat off of. I know I have this one. This is channel 20. And then these guys. These are all set to channel 20. Okay. Alright, I think I'm remembering how to set this up now. This will be prone to goofs. I'm certain of it. I'm actually going to do channel 29 because I don't think I would have used that before. I also want to set all these to that. So set to channel 29. I will double check all the special stuff on these later. Track 29. Hello, comrades. This is the Russian bias choo-choo, rolling along. I am of singing the song. You should get on aboard the Russian bias choo-choo. The winter is here, and you will not be despaired. I still owe somebody an Ivan parody of Greenland on the Southern. Leave the new Milano station about to port 210. I hope these don't show up as actual triggers because that'll mess with stuff. It'll just be too many, man. Okay. I think this is all set right. set for anything. I'm trying to remember how this does. You miss someone? Yeah, I know. I wish we all had the time and the drive to make more episodes like that. I want to. I have plans for what to do with everything we've written, etc., etc. But it'll take time. But it'll come. It'll come down the pipe someday. I always loved it because of the world that we'd built and the characters that we'd made. You know, I feel like there are a million stories that are left untold there. And honestly, I just wish I could tell them. Alright. This is all track 29. Also, what's even funnier is that I was interacting, or well, Gloria was interacting with her grandfather on the phone, and honestly, he's just like Gabe incarnate. It's kind of crazy. He cracks me up. Force some pals for help. I mean, you could probably make a competent series with the 5 foamers. Or 4 foamers and a reclusive cat person. I know you guys have the manpower. I would gladly help if somebody's trying to do something horseman adjacent. Because I like doing it. It's just tough to put the time aside. Anyway, this guy needs to get set to channel 29. Level crossing mode. Why not the new controller slave asset instead? Okay. Illustrator sessions. Here's all of the things. Do I need to change these to -1 as well? I need to go check my other ones. Let's go check, because I know this crossing works. This is the model that I've been using. Nope, it's fine. Okay. Cool. Let's go back this way then. The other thing I need is the slave. 29. Let's not delay anything. This asset may fail in future versions of trains. Huh. That's concerning. Okay. Alright, cool. I assume this might work now. At least... Oh, wait. I need to attach this to it, too. I mean, I could have more than one slave. Oops, wrong spline. Okay. When you hear the whistle blow and get to the bar, you will know that happy hour is not very far. Train pull into station, engineer gets wasted. Hold on. It's because I used a regular tablespoon. I could have more than one slave. Not a great thing to be rejoining to. Oh, and I need to set these guys up too, don't I? Okay. That's the one thing I'm forgetting, and that's why I'm going... What? Yeah? I knew you were going to say that. If I go in there, I'm going to have to help more. I do want another cookie, but I will abstain for now. Force go on ATLs clear. No. Well, yes. I delay clear of this signal by 0 seconds. That's what I said. To control trams en route off. SPL. I'm just rereading this really quick. For ATLS tram level crossings, you should set the route to Route 1. Okay. Honestly, I don't know anything about the internal politics of N3V and Aron. I'm not unhappy with where trains is, so I don't know much to complain about. Next ATLS trigger. Okay. Always save your session twice when using these codes. Interesting. I mean, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay. I'm going to go check my other crossing and check to see if these settings are the same. Not that idiot. How about this? Trams on Route 2? Oh, this is Route 1, that's Route 2. Okay. And then this, wrong thing, gosh darn it. Ah, it does have 2 routes. Two routes, 2 phases, and then, oops, where's my slave? This is Route 1. Okay. So it is different when I'm doing it with this. At least to my understanding. I remember struggling with this for a good long while. So I want to make sure I do it right. 2 phases. 2. Okay. And that is you. And then I want my slave to be on... Are you okay? She's not okay. No, you're not. Wait a minute. Wasn't this... Hold on, go back to this. Something's not right. Something's wrong, I can feel it. This, Route 1. This, Route 2. This, oops. This, Route 1. What is up with that? I think these both should be Route 1. Or maybe this should be Route 1. Traffic on Route 1. And then this should be Route 2. Excuse me. I think that should be fine. I don't know if it works. We'll find out at some point in the future. We'll have to tweak it then. But that's that. That's the Mason's Landing Railroad crossing. I also have ML tram crossings listed, and I think that's the same thing. I think. So let's get rid of that. Let's see, what time is it now? It's only been about 15 minutes. So we need to do some fun stuff now because we need to test repeats, special repeats, that sort of thing. So we actually need to leave Tolbrand because it does not make sense to attempt this on Tolbrand. I'm going to need to go to my test world and have some fun over there because we're going to be playing with the AI. I spent about an hour 15, which is shaping up to be about half this episode, on the scenery aspect. Now I need to look at a different aspect. This is not going to be a beautiful thing. What's the word? It's not going to be a beautiful section of the episode, that's for sure. Alright, let's go back to select route. Let's scroll on over to edit. Or sorry, I think it's test. It's a module template. There it is, test. Let's just do this. For all its faults, Train 2006 was a very good version. Long legs. Oh, I wanted to edit. Hold on. Oh no, achievement tracking will be disabled. Whatever will I do? Okay. There's a couple things I wanted to test. Drive to track mark list, and repeats and special repeats. So most of it's command work. We will see how this goes. Do I have a yard at all? No, I don't. Okay. Okay. Are you okay? Okay. I'm going to extend this out so I can build a, oh, whoops. Let's do this. Let's work in route layer. Extend this out like this. And then we're going to have to build a yard ladder here. If I can remember how to do that. They're always going to be shallower than you expect. That's sort of a thing to keep in mind. I do want to have like 4 options for the AI at least, because that is going to be our sort of close to life thing, because this is for testing out the way that the trams are going to operate. Whoops. I mean, there's no reason to make good track mark here, admittedly, but it pays to be thorough. Sometimes it's about doing the right thing, even when it doesn't matter about doing the right thing. Remember, your integrity is judged by what you do when nobody's watching. The important thing is how you behave when there are no consequences. If you can be good just for the sake of being good. There we we go. Always remember to straighten your splines. So we have 2 down, 2 to go. People like track work because it feels like you're getting somewhere. It feels like you're building more. When a lot of the time it's the tedium that gets you towards your goal. I suppose it can be fun to run on a railroad that's all baseboard and track, especially if all you really care about is the operations and perhaps the AI, as I often do. But honestly, it's not necessarily all it's cracked up to be. You want to have something to look at, you know? If you don't have an incentive to just, like, look around, then, I don't know. You almost don't have a route at that point. And I'm not saying you need impeccable scenery, but there is a lot of the times a hyper focus on just building track. That's the curse of the model railroader. You know, you build track. When you're building track, it means more railroad. When you're building scenery, it just means the same railroad, just shinier. And personally, I don't really care much for building scenery. You guys should know I care much more for the AI work than anything else. I spend most of my time in this game watching trains drive around as opposed to even driving them myself. But that's not all there is to the world, so to speak. Android scenery is pretty bad. I mean, in fairness, if you're doing it on mobile, I don't know what kind of tools you have, but I wouldn't expect that it's much. These are buffers. Can I actually get a, what's the name for an American buffer? Just a track? Let's just do this. Mobile trains? What about mobile trains? You know what? I admittedly don't know which way these are facing. I don't know if they face both directions or not. That's something that might be worth testing. I don't know which way these are facing. And the free demo deleted all your content. Huh. That kind of sucks. Gonna be honest. Kind of sucks. What the heck is this? These are trackside objects? Huh. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Get some tomb ones. These at least I know which way they're facing. Oh, this one's almost off the edge. Detroit, but a train simulator. Jeez. Alright, so now we need to invisible track. As we do, invisible track BNSF 50. This is my preferred invisible track. It's good stuff. It's very visible when you are in Surveyor, which is nice because you're not ever not sure where you put it. Okay, now I need track marks. We're going to call this, which way is north? I don't have the little compass rose. How come I don't have the compass rose? That's strange. Which way is north? Hold on. Settings. General settings. Interface settings. Show compass. Okay, that's north. That's kind of what I thought. I'm going to turn it off again because it does kind of get in the way. But I'm gonna do something helpful. Hold on. There we go. Damn it, that's not visible from the map. This is extremely visible. Oh, it's purple from the map, but it's still definitely visible. We're the Knights who say knee. Okay, we need some track marks. I already put down one of them. We need 3 more. Let's see, 30, 32, 34, 36. So, these are going to be, let's call this West Yard. West Yard, and then 1. West Yard 2. West Yard 3. This is just my edit session, Sherry. West Yard 4. Okay, that's it. So we've got those in. And we have our test locomotive over here, which I will actually bring much closer because it doesn't need to be all the way over here. And now I think I want a signal. So, signal dwarf. Dwarf. Signal man invisible. Or signal invisible. Let's just do a semaphore. What? Can we place a layer above they're attached to? What is the... Oops. Okay, I guess I'm putting this on the session layer. That's a mistake. Nah, you know, I'm not a big fan of the signal. Let's just... I'm being picky, but let's just pick one, you know? I don't really want to deal with the semaphore. I want something straightforward. Nope, that's all semaphores. I want something straightforward, but not dumb looking. Oh, you know what? We should have a... There we are. Searchlight signal 01. You can't go wrong with a searchlight. So, first things first. This is our train. We need to probably... driver setup. I need to add the rule that lets me select things. Driver command, yes. Mostly, what I need right now is drive to track mark list, because that's what we're testing out. Can I try out that edit route on trains? No. This is, I mean, yeah, there's a real lot to it. This is something you could throw together in 2 seconds if you just want to test things. There's really not much here. There isn't even a single industry. You're better off going to a blank baseboard and putting down a single stretch of track. So, let's go to driver mode. Here you are. We're going to switch you over to AI control. And we're going to drive to track mark list West Yard. Let's see. Drive to first available track mark. Will it go to number 1? Let's find out. junction is not aligned for this route. Oh, which one are you going to then? I'm curious, because it's not the first one. It's not where you're trying to go. If you were, you'd be going in there, but it looks like it's going to at least this one. Maybe this one would make sense. Maybe the AI wants to count down. This one. But it's already locked. That's curious. We have our track profile setting. Oh. Stuck and awaiting new instructions. Interesting. I can't seem to figure out where he's trying to go. West Yard 1. Okay. West Yard 1 would be here and then here. But there seems to be some sort of conflict. So first available doesn't seem to be doing it. Let's try something else. Drive to track marked list, drive to random available. Still doesn't seem to be figuring it out. That's interesting. I mean, it's incredibly dumb. Yes? What's that? Yes. Let me run one more thing to just make sure it's not something with my track work. Because it can't seem to figure this one out either. Which is doubly interesting and also kind of perplexing. I don't know where it's trying to go. I don't know where it thinks it's trying to go, anyway. Maybe it has something to do with the layers? I'll be right back. I got another one. Alright, Mo back at the question while this guy still figures it out. Alright. How hard on your computer to run railroads online? It doesn't seem to be too much trouble. So I think there's something wrong with my track work, because it clearly can't figure anything out. Okay. So, maybe the track marks are too close to the edge. Let's try that. Let's pull them back. Let's also turn them around. Although I don't think that will make a difference. I also think I'm going to relay this single stretch of track That's in the wrong thing. Can I download British steam locomotives? I could. I don't really have a need for them right now, though. Oh, this is all in the session layer. I'm trying not to go ham with downloading too much stuff, at least not this second. Look at that smoke. I might even have a couple of British engines kicking around. I just haven't needed them for anything. I know I'm trying to solve the problem from more than one angle at a time here, which is, can you name it? Name what? Like which engines I have downloaded? No, I don't know. I have no idea. I would have to just scroll through my list. Let's see. I need... There we go. Here's a searchlight suit. We'll do a different one, maybe. How about this one? See if that changes anything. Does Britain exist in the Tolbrin universe? Honestly, probably not, if I had to hazard a guess. The whole thing about the land of Tolbrin is it's not set in our world, really. Like, there's no place it would geographically fit. So ultimately, I just settle for it doesn't exist. Please have the Great Northern engines on siding. I mean, I'll put one over here. Let's see. Actually, you know what? We'll test it with a Great Northern engine. How about that? We've got the little guy. Yeah, let's try him. Little. Yep. Okay. Alright, so we're going to switch back to edit. Oh, sorry. We're going to switch back to driver mode. Switch back to you. Change you to that control mode. I just want to see if you can make it to one of these track marks. Junction is not aligned for this route is still the error that we're getting. Well, of course, that junction is not aligned for this route. It needs to throw it. But he seems to already have control over it. He's throwing all the other ones available. You gotta throw this one, my guy. Also, this doesn't have a dead end. I'll be right back. I need to brainstorm a little bit. We're going to try to figure out why this is being a problem. So he's still stuck, huh? No idea. Well, let's see. Can you figure it out if he's past the signal? Switch to driver mode. And just drag him up. Or, hell, let's delete the signal. Maybe it's something up with this class of signal. Let's try a different one. How about a safe tran and a signal dwarf? And also, we will add a red sign at the end of this. Whoops, let's turn that around. We'll also spin these guys around just for kicks. And on top of that, let's give these different switch stands. So we're going to try that one. Try that one out. Sure, we'll throw it on a different engine. Why not? Let's take the big guy. The Great Northern S2. The giant Vandy tender that I'm not a huge fan of. It should be fine with a signal. We'll try it again without one if this still doesn't work. But obviously, in the real world, it's got to work with a signal. I if she didn't always start pause, though. Well, it's telling us we have a signal at least. And so I'm not sure exactly what I did that changed the way this is working, but let's just give it a drive to first available track mark and see which one it picks. Oh, it's giving it to us again. Signal junction is not aligned for this route. Now, what route do you think it's trying to pick? And how do you think it's going to need to align these junctions? Because it has one onto number 1, which is the one it ostensibly looks like it's trying to get to. But it's going to pull up to this signal and stop. And then hopefully we'll figure something out. It's only got one signal locked. Oh, I heard it stop. Oh, it's got the other one locked. But still, nothing. Junction is not aligned for this route. This may take some investigation, actually, and maybe a little bit of Googling. Because I've actually genuinely never seen this message before. I don't think I have, anyway. And it's not the track, it's not the signals. It's not the switch stands. Oh, nope, nothing. It's trying, but it's not getting anywhere. Surveyor mode. Let's delete this signal and see if it can get somewhere. Not right now, I'm trying to solve a problem. Alright, let's switch back. Driver mode. Oh, and I accidentally changed the control mode. So what's your problem right now? Does that need to come out of the oven? Alright, I'll go do that.
What's the matter, Lafayette?
That's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Except for this guy being a total incompetent. So let's try a more straightforward command. How about just drive to West Yard? Okay, so there's one. It seems to be more of a signal problem than anything.
I gave you 2 cookies already, bro.
I will need to investigate this. In fact, I think I'm going to punch it in right now after I switch back to surveyor mode. Because we need a second engine to test this. So, let's just throw down one of these Jeeps. Jeep. Switch back into driver mode. Selected, here we are. And now I'll give it another command. So, let's just say, drive to random available track mark. So it's going to number 2. So it's going to the next one that's there. It's been a signal issue this whole time because the train is fully capable of getting there. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the update that just came out. In fact, it's entirely possible that signals on the whole are screwed and I just haven't found out yet. So, but it tends to go to one and then the next and then the next. Hold on, Graham, I got you, don't worry. Although, you know what? I have to stop this guy right here. Because, so he's managed to go to this one because this one was blocked. But if he doesn't get to that one, will it still exclude it, or will he try to get to it? So, let's do that. Surveyor mode. Let's see if I have a Gevo, or something. What do I have? Do I have BNSF Gevos to put on stacks? Let's see. I don't think I do. There's some BR stuff, though. Oh, I have BNSF B40s. Not exactly Gevos. But you know what? It's the closest we're going to get. And here, have a Santa Fe one, Graham. Santa Fe War Bonnet. Driver mode. I know. Drive to track mark list. Drive to first available track mark. It should go to track mark 3, because it cannot get to 2. But I have a feeling it's going to try to get to 2 nevertheless. So, let's see what happens. Keep an eye on it while I adjust Gloria's boot for her.
I need a lot of help.
It's okay. Put your foot in the boot.
I'm trying.
Put your foots in the butts. I cannot see where it's decided to go yet. Okay. How about that? Okay, so it's going to the third one. That actually says to me this command is smarter than I would have thought. Because it tries to find the one that it can clearly not get to. I don't know if I have 476. Actually, but somebody was talking about British stuff earlier, so I'll run the last one with a British engine. Let's see. Where's one of these British... Oh, that's a cute little diesel. Let's do this one. Hey, wait, yes, that is in fact trunk. You are correct. It is a trunk Jeep. Alright, switch to this. Let's say navigate to random available track mark. Lots of Velcro. Velcro is good for it. Okay, come on. All right. Good. Alright, so we've got 4 engines in 4 slots. The command in question, it's go to track mark list, and it should, in theory, pick a track mark out of the list that the train can actually get to. And as this guy proves, it actually picks them not just based on what's on top of it, but also what's in the way. So, that's fine. What I need to see... Okay, so this part of the test is done. I think it should work the way we expect it to work. However, I will put this down at the bottom as junction not aligned, question mark, because that's something that we need to look into in terms of, you know, what is the problem here. Because genuinely, I don't think it's us. I think the stuff that we've made is just fine. And I'm going to test it in a different way. So let's switch back to surveyor mode. Hi, good boy. And I need to throw a signal down somewhere where there cannot possibly be a problem. So there's a bunch of semaphores. Blah, blah, blah. Don't need that. Switch stands. New century lamps. PRR super signals. I'm glad you appreciate it, Graham. It is my testing route. Yes, that is in fact pupper. Alright, so I'm just going to put a signal there. I'm going to grab a steam engine I haven't used yet. So let's do QDRC17. No, I'm going to go with the steam engine this time. This guy's broad gauge, isn't he? Oh no, he's slightly narrow gauge. Does not fit on the tracks. Not that trains cares, but I care. What is this? This is cute. Have dogs redacted tonight? I have no idea. National Coal Board. What this little guy?
What does that mean, Graham?
Redacted means he's like something's been removed, so he's making a joke that they blanked. So fill in the blank.
Oh.
Can you add this testing route to the download station? There would be virtually no point to that. There's virtually nothing here. Literally, it's a flat surface with like 10 track splines. If you wanted to, you could recreate this in 2 minutes. And you might be able to make it work too. Alright, so... Oh, you know what? I don't have another track mark over there. Hold on. Back to surveyor mode. Track mark. Track mark 61. Shed 17. Alright, scooch this back down to this away. Driver mode. It's on the other side of a signal. Do you think you can make it there? Navigate to... Or sorry. Drive to track mark 61. Go. Okay, so it made it when there's no junctions involved. What if, What about the other track mark? It's at the other end. Although, that doesn't have a signal in the way. Well, let's switch back to surveyor mode and put a signal. Trying to make half the stuff I make a little bit of sense. You know? Some care does go into this. Although, there's no buffer stops on the end of this track, huh? He's the king of complicated. He'd love this. This is not that complicated, at least not yet. Track mark 65. I want my track end. Track ends. Alright, so that should at least prevent it from telling me that it's on signals. Unsignaled. But I'd like to be able to make it go back and forth between these two things. I feel like that is, in fact, remotely possible, but the train may disagree. Let's see. Track mark 60... Whoops, no. 65. Track mark 65. No navigating here. Just drive to. Alright, now go back the other way. That's a little buggy. Yeah, I just got an update after a span of time, and I'm not sure. Okay, so that didn't stop it either. Drive to... I'll send you back to track mark 65 afterward. But I'll do that. Oh no, I threw the... Okay, figured it out immediately. Okay. Switching back to surveyor mode, because apparently the standard signals, they work just fine. I get the feeling it's still not a signal problem, though. So, these guys, these post-mounted PRR signals, put this over here, and I will drive one of these engines out and try it again. I'll take the Santa Fe guy. Or I'll just do this, because I'm a god. Alright. Driver mode. Drive to track mark. West Yard 3. Occupied by another train. That doesn't make sense. Although, once you throw the switch to the right thing, it shouldn't be. Oh, Graham, you're stuck. Planet is occupied by another train. Let's see. First available track mark. Still occupied by another train. And it says that train is this guy, but that's not even where you're trying to go. Please figure out what the song is. It's been jammed in my head. Yeah. Oh, it's thrown this switch, but that's the one that I didn't need to throw. I threw the other two. Oh, and you've thrown it. No, you've thrown it back. You're only carrying it. Wait a minute. Okay. It is trying to get to West Yard 3. It just can't figure out how to get there. I find this odd. Because really it should be able to find it, and I bet, let's try this. It's not trying to path there, which is strange because something is broken. Yeah. That's it. It's just not throwing the switches. It's locked the one that it needs. Oh, nope. You had it for a minute, man. I don't know where you're trying to go, but it's not... You've locked this in the wrong direction. and it's occupied by another train. It just doesn't make sense. Nope. It's now thrown it. And if I throw that for it, it throws it back. Yeah, something in the pathfinding is definitely broken. And I don't know what or when, but it's certainly gotten worse. So if I clear all these trains out of here, except for this one is obviously not a problem, what is his excuse now? My hand is unsignaled. Well, that's not true at all. There are signals at the end of these runs. At least this should function as a signal. Oh, it might not. Oh, you know what? That may be part of this problem, actually. Okay. These might not function as signals. In fact, if we check the map, they don't. That is a problem. We need buffers that do function as signals. Oops, wrong button. We need buffers that do function as signals. Otherwise, this is the problem we have. So, if I just grab any old buffer, then I wrote bigger buffer. A lot of issues with this update. Yeah, I didn't know we were getting an update until my trains went to update. I probably should have told it not to. So, it won't let it switch to a track that isn't signaled. And I thought these tracks were, which was a mistake on my part, and led to perplexion on my part. So this now, theoretically, might be able to work. The other ones were magic, they were doing nothing. Alright, you. Let's see, I think I have to tell you to resume your schedule. No? I'll just... hold on. We'll just start from the beginning. Line ahead is clear for one block. That's something we haven't really seen yet. Drive to track mark list. Random available track mark. Just try me. Which one have you picked? 3. That's a random number. Let's run you back to that other track mark, which is track mark 61. Sorry, 65. I mean, it could just be that position lights are the only signals that work. That's also possible. Because, you know, standards and all that. Oh, hello, default horn. So once it clears that junction, you should be able to proceed, and then I'll say, same thing. Drive to random available track mark. So it seems the vast majority of our issues, if not all of our issues, are driven by the fact that those buffers were wrong. I should have checked that first. I just threw in a random buffer, not knowing if it was a functional one or not. Oh, and that signal's on this, the signal's on the other side of the track mark, so it's just going to stop here in reverse and pull into a track that it picks. Let's see. It picked track 4. Before he gets too far, let's throw down another engine and try it. So, and in fact, let's make things even harder. We're going to put down this Berkshire. I know, let's use a freight car. Let's see, how about this guy? Havenwood South. We'll just put down a bunch of these right there. So now it can only pick track 1, assuming that it knows that this guy is going to track 4. And by it, I mean this GP40-2. Yeah, how about it? Okay. Driver mode. Let's see. Drive to track mark list. Random available track mark. It picked 1. which is the right thing to do, because that's the only one it could get to. This guy was busy going to 4, this blocks 2, this is blocking 3. This might be a much better command than I had initially thought. So I am so glad that this is how this is working. More like Pan Am. No, I mean, no, not really. Do I have any Pan Am stuff? That's a good question. So, this guy is going to go and drive into track 1. Alright, this works. I'm really glad this works. So, that was solely a problem because of my buffers. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Matt.
So, that was the first AI problem we had. Now, or the AI question I had. Now, we have this space right over here to run an engine back and forth. And, you know what, I'll continue using this for the moment. Although no, you know what, I'll just grab a different engine. We gotta switch to surveyor mode anyway. Let's see, what can we use that won't be annoying? I kind of would like something quiet. Do we have an electric engine? Kind of wish I had like an AEM7 to throw in here. What is this? Oh, I can't place it. I'm still loading. Oh, okay. It's a European. The things that I always fall in Derail Valley. Okay. I mean, I would kind of like a, You know what I might have? Actually, let's do it with this. FL9. Do it with a pair of back-to-back FL9s. The singular AEM7 we have in the game is loud. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Actually. Although, here's all my new Haven stuff. I don't have enough of... I don't have any electric stuff. Graham. Alright. Driver mode, we need... Oh, nope, never mind. Sorry, my bad. Surveyor mode, because I need to change this. Driver command. The thing that I'm curious about is how this works on top of the other repeats. But mostly this, because I don't think I should, I don't think I should be fiddling with the regular repeats, just because of how this is going to work. In fact, I think I should strive to not use the regular repeats, if at all possible. So... Oh, hey, Kaiser. Kaiser is also here. NW. I'm sure I have NW somewhere. Okay. So, KMD repeat, start, let's say 5, and then finish. And then we'll do drive to track mark 61. And then drive to track mark 65. And we'll just see how this works. Yeah, there are some New Haven electrics on the download station. Okay, so this just repeated it and added repeat 4. So it'll go back and forth. It'll do these two. Wish I could set them to... Not right now. I wish I could set them to... View details. I wish I could set them to electric mode. Look at that wonderful Boco wheel arrangement that was the bane of everyone's existence. Look, we're finally starting to get a route over here on the test route. Can we make a foamy steam doubleheader next? Maybe, if you're good. this have default whistle? No. Oh my god, I love it. Also this. It's a 2-foot engine to big boy. I might be able to do that. So yeah, so it just repeats. Okay, so it puts the stuff in front and it changes the repeat by 1. So that's how that works. Which honestly should do fine. FL9Bs, I don't think those were a thing. I think FL9s were all A units. Which end would you put the 746? Or 476? Oh, 476. Okay, yeah, I get. I don't think I have 476, Graham. I was thinking 475. I might have Vesti. Okay, so that's how that works. Special repeats. Yeah. I'm not going to be using regular repeats, at least not in this case. I don't think so, anyway. And then I think I want to go to surveyor mode. Yes, this is 5-axle power. FL9s are weird. Okay, let's see. Edit session. The rule that we got was schedule at track mark, if I remember right. Yeah, so this is interesting. All along the session, or, okay, yeah. But what if? Yeah, I don't know. Select track mark or select trigger. Can I select multiple track marks? Schedule will be fired in both directions. That's an interesting parameter. I like that. Here's what? What is?
Quiet.
He's busy. Oh, he's right there.
Okay.
Look at him. Okay. Schedule at track mark is one of the ones that I'm also curious about. Why would you make 5-axle power? Because they were dual mode? I don't know. I don't know if that's an excuse, but West Yard 1 fired in both directions all along the session. Entered driver commands to schedule. Okay. We'll have it do wait for 5 seconds and then navigate to, or sorry, drive to track mark 7, which is all the way at the other end of the map. Yeah. So, new schedule will be appended to current driver commands. Okay. So we'll do that. We need another engine over here. Oh, this guy, I guess. Yeah, we'll do you, I guess. It just keeps showing up. Driver mode. Unpause. Drive to track mark West Yard 1, and then wait for, let's say 30 seconds just to sort of seal the deal. F-unit body with E-unit trucks under it, you'd probably not have a lot of room for gas. What you really would have created is, yeah, just a very small E-unit, honestly. Occupied by another train. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is occupied by another train. I guess this guy didn't get the memo. I guess it's only when it pulls into the track mark for the first time. Let's try it like this. Wow, you're not able to gas it very much, are you? I don't know how close you are to the radius of this track mark, but I would have expected you to get There it is. Okay, so it works. If you just sit here... I know you guys are stuck. Okay, now you can't get anywhere. Alright, hold on. Alright, so it about works how I would expect. Bye. What about northern and western engines? I have no idea. I don't know British steam like at all. Are you waiting? Is it though? I don't think it is. Pretty sure it's not. Ooh. He's given up. He's not trying to throw the switch. Oh, you know what? His schedule may be canceled. Hold on. Stop train. Continue schedule. Try that. What other train? Oh, it's already confused. I think the constant switching gives it problems. Northwestern and Pacific. That I'm pretty sure I don't have. I can sift through and see if I have an NW engine for the end of this. But I think everything's more or less working how I would expect it to work at this point. So I'm not sure what more I need to do. This is a pair you'd never see. Yeah, I'm not sure what more you'd need to do to get this to work the way you want it to work. Apparently, if they sit on top of the thing, on top of the track mark, it only gives it when you pull in to the radius of the track mark. So that means I can use the track marks at the end of the shed in Mason Valley to give the guys new instructions. All Northwestern Pacific units come with a complimentary life jacket. I'm sure there's more to the joke, but my only assumption is that it just rains a lot up there. Can I help you? Okay. I'm being bitten. Can you stop?
No.
Okay. Oh, who's gonna get beaten out first? Who's gonna make it to the switch? Oh, this is gonna be bad. We're gonna have an accident. Oh, never mind. He figured it out. Okay. He's stopping.
Oh, New Haven.
Yeah.
It's not spooky though.
They have one of these on Cape Cod.
I want Spook Boy.
I'm not sure if I have any Spooky Boys downloaded. I will see, but only for you. Alright, now we're going to have an accident. Alright, we're going to stop that before bad things happen. Delete this, delete this. Check on all my New Haven stuff to see if I have any of the orange and black cars. Yes. And then I guess I'll see if I have any... Oh, wait, are these... Oh, okay, no, this is something else. No, I have that, I have that. I have much older cars. I have the shoreliner cars, which look cool, but are not what you're asking about.
I thought I saw some.
These old cars that are darker. No, they're just Pullman green. I have this rail bus.
People.
Stainless steel car, no. Unfortunately, I do not. What?
Those.
What?
The ones in hidden class.
I just went through all these. Some of them are Pullman green, like this one.
What about the DE? DY?
That's this guy.
This guy was spook.
I mean, it's a McGinnis paint scheme. Do you have the ones that wrecked on the Federal Express? I think those are the shoreliners, which are the 300 and 400s, although I would have to double check. Eel River King. Okay, let's see what I have for N&W. N&W. I know you want more, but I'm not making out on camera. I'm sorry, my love. It looks like I don't have any N&W, which is kind of disappointing. PBA would be upset with me.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Thomas.
I mean, that engine I was just using is relatively close to Thomas. I don't have any actual Thomas. Turn off the camera then. Stop giving me solutions.
Yeah, listen to Hemlock.
Then I'll be able to hear it. Oh, I'm glad you're here, East. You made it for the last 10 minutes of the stream. Okay, I'm going to exit Surveyor on this. Hi. Oh.
Ow, you pulled my hair!
This isn't Tolbrin. What? No, I was sticking around in the edit route because I wanted to test some stuff, and going back and forth between, Surveyor and Driver in Tolbrand not only takes forever, also will disrupt the map. We're going to edit this session again, and I am going to start working on... I'm going to start working on the automation of the car barn, because that's what I can start thinking about in the last 10 minutes of this episode. We didn't get to play with spreadsheets today, but we got some good scenery work done at the beginning when everyone was around. So, that's nice. Although we have more people now than we did then. So, you guys get to, you know, watch me drive trains, which I know is always a highlight. Let's see. Switch. Whoops. I keep doing that by accident. Switching to route layer. And then we have our 4 track marks back here. Alright, these are all 10, 10, 10, 10. I want to make sure these guys either start just outside of or way inside of these. And in fact, I think I'm going to start them outside of, because I don't want anything getting triggered accidentally. Oops. An extra copy of their commands right at the beginning of the day would not be a great start. This is how we would see if the AI is really screwed up, just by how this is working. Okay, that's outside of the radius. That's good. I think, did I move this on? No, those are staggered. I was going to ask if I had moved that up. I'll move you up just a tad. Move you back just a tad. That's number 1. And let's check on his schedule, as one does. Edit session. Driver setup. That's you. You wait until 5:30. You apply those commands, and then you do this. And this command set, yeah. So this is why we needed to check if this worked. Because this command set runs through, terminates the train, waits for 5 seconds, drives there, brings the train to a complete stop, and drives to the first available in the car barn. I'm not looking at any screenshots right now, man. Uh, trying to think. We've got this. I think that's all we need. No. Yes. That is all we need. Because this, if I can move this up, just so it's next to something that we're using. Oh, and I forgot I can name this. Schedule light track mark MVTC. Select track mark. Ivan be good, but it's a trolley and a car barn instead of Ivan in his shed. Let's see. MV Carbarn 1. And when it does that, schedule will be fired in both directions. Rule will be applied the whole session. Track mark. Oh, are you okay? You keep bashing your head into me. I don't take responsibility for this. Select track mark. Carbarn 2. Oh wait, do I really only have 2? I thought I had 4. Let's just add the other 2 while we're here then, I suppose. Oops. Carbarn 3. And add new trackside entity. And we're going to do Carbarn 4. The other thing to consider is we need to space these guys out evenly. It's a full loop of 46 minutes, or the full loop is 46 minutes, so we probably want to space them out. We want them to leave about 10 minutes apart from one another. So that means the first track is going to be, if this is, oh right, first trolley leaving MB station at 5:50 a.m. It takes 8 minutes to get there. So the first train out is going to leave at 5:42. So let me just make a note of this. 5:42, and then 5, let's see. Let's do 11 minutes after that. So 5:53, and then 6:04, and then 6:15. That makes sense to me, anyway. So we need to set that up. Wait for... And I think I'm going to have it wait for 5 seconds after it pulls in, just to sort of cool down. In fact, I don't even want that to be in here. I want that to be at the end of the schedule library after it pulls in. Train to a complete stop, drive there, and then let's just go to, where is it, halt train? Yeah. A good wait for 5 seconds can really salvage a faulty AI, that's for sure. So, wait for 5 seconds. I want to do one more thing, just to add to this a little bit. We'll do horns, and then wait for 5 seconds. Seconds. And this has to be 5:42, as we established. So, wait for, or wait until 5 hours, 40 minutes, 2 minute, 5:42. I also am going to put in a wait for 5 seconds and before this, just in case. So, this is the setup of things we need to do. It's a wait for, a time, horn, time, copy commands, or append commands, and then Sugma Boulevard loop, Old Street, or Old Bridge Street Yard, and then Abrupt Street. I wish I could copy this, because that's what we need to copy here. When it comes in, we need to have this wait for 5 seconds. Then we need to have the wait until 5:42 in the morning. Then we have the wait. We have the horns. Then we have the wait for 5 seconds. Then we have the copy commands, right? So copy commands, append from library, and BTC full service. Right? And I think I've done that in the right order and haven't missed anything. Yeah, and then it just jumps straight into these. So, Sugma Boulevard, Old Bridge Street Yard, Abrupt Street, southbound. Or Abrupt, the other one was southbound. Drive via track mark, Sugma Boulevard, northbound, or do I want loop? I think I want the loop.
He's a boy, but his name's Ford.
Are you looking at cats to adopt?
Yeah. Everybody tell Alyssa, let me get a cat.
Let's see, Old Bridge Street Yard, southbound, and then navigate via MV Abrupt Street.
Look at her name is Nova.
Cease.
No. I will not until we get a kitty cat.
I'm gonna finish putting these together, and then I'm gonna end the episode. So this is gonna be wait until 5:53. You already have a chaotic puppy, so a cat seems like a bad idea. Well, the cat would. The thing is, he's a chaotic puppy, and the cat would be someone for him to play with.
She loves head scratches.
Does she love dogs?
Yeah?
Especially when you're only one person who can effectively chase any mischief makers. Yeah, no, we definitely shouldn't get a cat now when, you know.
I'm in a boot.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly the word I was going to use, but yeah.
Well, I'm cripple. Huh? Is that the word you were looking for? Well, I'm cripple.
Who's to say?
Shut up.
I love you too. Okay, and then we need to do drive via track mark, MV Sugma Boulevard loop, drive via track mark.
He's got a mustache.
He would get unhappy at Lafayette very quickly. We do not need an old cat.
But he's got a mustache.
I saw the mustache. It's very cute. Let's see. MV Abrupt Street. So that's number 2. Now for number 3.
Oh, look at Stinky. He's got some flies.
It's one of those cats that looks like Ron Perlman. Let's just throw the horns in there while I'm here.
Oh,
Wait for
he's
5
old
seconds.
Too. Never mind, he's 14 years old.
Aw.
He's an old man.
Old tend to be grumpy. Yeah. Hell, I tend to be grumpy.
Oh, this one's name was Autumn, and she's only a year old.
Uh-huh. Copy commands from library and BTC full service. I at one point wanted to get fancy with it and have them go in different ways, but I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, and I'm old, I know, yes. Where is this? What are you looking at this on?
Providence Pet Shelter.
Oh, gosh. I was hoping it would be far away.
Look at her name's Maple. She's only a year old.
My cat looked like Hitler, says Kaiser. Ironic.
Her name was
Uh,
Maple. She always looks surprised.
has anybody seen that TikTok that's like the girl and the cat, and she's like, "Oh, come here.
Oh, they
You're
have
so
cat
cute.
names. Never mind.
You look like Hitler. Come here." Let's see. Old Bridge Street Yard. I'm just doing this on autopilot now, listening to Gloria and the cats.
He's
And
not
then
paying attention.
I'm paying attention to certain things. I'm paying attention to the song that's playing in my head.
Daddy, 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 hurry. Stop something scary.
Yeah, that's what was stuck in my head, just that. And I couldn't pin down enough of the lyrics to properly Google it. Wait for... This is the last one. Wait until... This one leaves a little late-ish. Somebody can tell me if my math is wrong. Horns. Wait for 5 seconds. Good old wait for 5 seconds. Copy commands from append from library MBTC full service. And then, of course, drive via track mark. Sugma Boulevard.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Look! They come together! They come together, Mabel and Monroe! Oh my god! Baby!
I'm going to put in these last 2 track marks. Old Bridge Street Yard. And then...
After they have their shots. And they're both spayed and neutered.
Okay, cool.
Chicken nuggets.
What? Oh. That's the cat's name?
No, their names are Mabel and Monroe.
Where's the chicken nuggets come from?
I don't know. That's what it says. Chicken nuggets profit. Kitten nuggets.
East, why are you doing Christmas carols?
Why? No. Stop.
Yes, good kiddo. I'm sorry I didn't respond to your DM, by the way. I get caught up in all sorts of things. Abrupt Street, that's the last one. Let's save this sucker, and at some point I'm going to have to run a test. A 24-hour test. I maybe will stream it. But it's going to have to be...
God damn it, Hen.
I know. It's gonna have to be something that happens.
No. Don't reject Halloween.
Reject Halloween, embrace Christmas carols. It's gonna have to be something that happens when I'm not doing much of anything else, because I've got to leave it for 24 hours. That's a lot of hours.
Now I'm singing Mariah Carey!
I finally installed the new bot in the Discord server, which, for those of you that are still with us, I'm about to end the episode. If you want to join our Discord server and, join in the conversations, etc., you can use the link in the description down below. And if you are joining as a fan, it is important to do your requisite fan rank poll so you can get a little bit of street cred and to get in the rest of the server. So, anyway, I am really looking forward to when all this area is done. Just to give this boulevard a little bit more life instead of just seeming in the middle of nowhere. Although it doesn't feel too bad when it's nighttime. I'll say that much. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Under Construction, and I will see you next week. This is the Admiral, signing off. And Open TDD tomorrow, don't forget.